After watching this video, you will never look at human behavior the same way again. You will see the manipulation behind people's smiles, the pressure behind society's expectations, and the traps designed to keep you weak. If you truly absorb what I'm about to reveal, you will become harder to break, impossible to control, and untouchable to anyone who tries to use you. Listen carefully, because what I'm about to expose is not random motivation. This is Machiavellian psychology, the same principles rulers used for centuries to gain influence, build power, and remain unmoved while the world tried to bend them. And make no mistake, the world is trying to bend you. It wants you obedient. It wants you predictable. It wants you harmless. Why? Because weak people are easier to manage, easier to guilt, easier to distract. And the moment you start acting strong, the moment you start thinking independently, the world becomes uncomfortable. Today, we break that. Today, you transform. 1. The world trains you to be weak. Break programmed obedience. Weakness is not natural. It is trained into you. From childhood, you are told, be nice, be agreeable, don't make people uncomfortable, don't question authority, don't be too confident. You are punished for speaking up. You are rewarded for staying quiet. Eventually, you learn a poisonous rule. If people like me, I am safe. Machiavelli would call this the first step of your downfall. Because the moment you rely on others for emotional safety, you surrender the ability to make decisions from strength. You stop asking, "What do I want?" and start asking, "What will they think? Will they approve? Will they get upset?" This is how society controls you, not through chains, but through expectations, through shame, through guilt, through fear of being disliked. But here is the cold truth Machiavelli understood. People respect power more than kindness. People follow strength more than goodness. People obey clarity, not softness. When you try to please everyone, you lose yourself. When you try to avoid conflict, you invite domination. When you try to stay good in everyone's eyes, you become powerless in your own life. So, your first transformation begins here. Stop living to be liked. Start living to be strong. 2. Pain isn't your enemy. It's your awakening. You think betrayal is failure. You think heartbreak is punishment. You think disrespect means you weren't enough. No. Machiavelli would call these moments strategic awakenings, indicators that your trust was misplaced, your boundaries were weak, and your loyalty was wasted. Pain exposes where you were blind. When someone betrays you, they're not hurting your value, they're revealing their nature. When someone disrespects you, they're not showing your weakness, they're showing their intentions. Your pain is a signal, a map, a blueprint. Every wound you carry came from giving the wrong person the right access. Your disappointment isn't random, it is feedback. Machiavelli taught rulers to see painful experiences not emotionally, but strategically. What did this reveal? What did I ignore? How do I prevent this again? You must do the same. Because the moment you let pain sharpen you instead of soften you, you become someone people cannot fool twice. You learn the difference between energy givers and energy thieves, real loyalty and convenient loyalty, truth tellers and shapeshifters. This is how you become ruthless, not by becoming cruel, but by becoming aware. And awareness is a weapon. 3. Stop explaining yourself. Mystery is power. Weak people over-explain. Weak people justify every decision. Weak people try to manage how others see them. Why? Because they fear misunderstanding more than they feel restriction. But Machiavelli warned rulers, The more you reveal, the more control you hand away. People don't need to know your motives. People don't need to understand your direction. People don't need your explanations to validate your choices. Your silence creates authority. Your mystery creates tension. Your lack of explanation creates influence. When you stop explaining yourself, people observe you more. People respect you more. People become unsure of how to manipulate you. Because the less predictable you are, the more powerful you become. Remember, control is lost through talking. Control is gained through silence. 4. Detachment, the skill that makes you uncontrollable. People become manipulable because they cling too hard to outcomes, to relationships, to approval, to fantasies. And clinginess makes you predictable. When someone knows you fear losing them, they can steer your behavior. When someone sees your happiness depends on them, they can destabilize it. When someone knows your triggers, they can control your reactions. Detachment breaks this chain. Detachment means you care, but you remain independent. You love, but you stay grounded. You commit, but you remain centered. Machiavelli believed the strongest individuals were those whose emotions didn't betray their strategy. When you detach, you stop chasing, you stop reacting, you stop collapsing. You observe, you evaluate, you choose. That calmness, that emotional clarity, that unshakable internal strength, it intimidates the manipulator. It exposes the liar. It disarms the narcissist. It confuses the opportunist. Detachment is not coldness. Detachment is command. 6. Boundaries, the weapon weak people fear to use. Most people know they should set boundaries, but they fear that if they do, people will leave. Machiavelli's answer would be simple. Good, let them. Because anyone who leaves because you set a boundary was feeding on your lack of one. Boundaries aren't cruel, they are clarity. Boundaries aren't selfish, they are self-respect. Boundaries aren't walls, they're filters. Your boundaries tell people what you can't do, what you don't tolerate, what you won't allow. Every time you say no, you sharpen your authority. Every time you withdraw access from disrespectful people, you increase your value. Every time you enforce consequences, you rise in power. Weak people set boundaries once and collapse when challenged. Strong people set boundaries and hold them without negotiation. And the moment you become a person with firm, enforced limits, you stop attracting parasites. You stop tolerating manipulators. You stop allowing chaos. Your environment becomes cleaner. Your relationships become stronger. Your mind becomes quieter. And your power becomes undeniable.
6. Master the power of strategic silence. Most people hate silence. It forces them to face themselves. It exposes their insecurity. It makes them nervous. Because in silence, manipulation dies. Machiavelli believed that the person who talks least holds the most power because the one who listens gains the most information. When you master silence, people reveal their motives. People confess without being asked. People show their insecurities. They expose their strategies. Silence is not empty. It is psychological pressure. Especially when used correctly. When someone insults you, stay silent. They expect a reaction. Deny it. Watch them lose their power. When someone tries to guilt you, stay silent. They want emotional compliance. Don't give it. Watch them panic. When someone wants information, stay silent. Let them speak. Let them reveal. Watch them overextend. Your silence forces others to play their cards while you keep yours hidden, and hidden cards win battles. 7. Loyalty must be conditional, not blind. Weak people stay loyal to the wrong people for too long. They confuse loyalty with self-sacrifice. They confuse devotion with self-neglect. They confuse promises with proof. Machiavelli warned leaders never to trust loyalty that wasn't backed by action. Words are cheap, consistency is expensive, and real loyalty costs something: effort, time, sacrifice, presence, responsibility. If someone isn't matching your loyalty, they don't deserve your loyalty. Conditional loyalty protects your sanity. It protects your energy. It protects your future. It filters opportunists, users, pretenders, parasites, people who only come when they need something, people who vanish when you need them. When people realize your loyalty has requirements, not blind devotion, they stop taking you for granted. They stop crossing your boundaries. They stop assuming you'll stay through disrespect. Your presence becomes a privilege, not a default. 8. Becoming untouchable, the final transformation. Becoming untouchable doesn't mean becoming emotionless. It means becoming unbreakable. It means you feel emotions, but emotions don't control you. You face betrayal, but betrayal doesn't define you. You encounter challenges, but challenges don't cripple you. Untouchable individuals are grounded in discipline, clarity, self-respect, strategy, internal stability. They don't collapse when people leave. They don't lose themselves over setbacks. They don't hand their power to anyone. They don't explain, beg, chase, or cling. Machiavelli said the strongest leaders were those who remained calm while everyone else panicked, because their emotional control became their sharpest weapon. When you become untouchable, manipulators avoid you. Opportunists can't use you. Disrespect is met with distance, not desperation. Chaos loses its influence over your mind. People begin to respect your silence more than they respected your words. Your energy becomes rare. Your presence becomes heavy. Your identity becomes formidable. Final message. Now, listen carefully. Understanding these principles is not enough. Strength comes only from application. You must practice. Saying no when it's uncomfortable. Holding boundaries when people push back. Staying silent when someone wants a reaction. Choosing logic when your emotions beg to take over. Walking away when respect disappears. And building a mind that is calm, cold, and sharp. The world wants you weak because weak people are easy to control. But after hearing this, you can no longer live like the old version of yourself. You are rising into someone more disciplined, more aware, more strategic, more powerful. A person who can't be manipulated, a person who can't be guilted, a person who can't be broken, a person who is becoming ruthless in the most intelligent way. You're not here to be controlled. You're here to command yourself and your direction. And that is the beginning of becoming unstoppable.